morning everyone and welcome. It's bright and early because we have a lot of action to do here in the kitchen. I've talked to you for months now about how we are using up food, but I'm still a prepper. I've always been a prepper at heart, and there are certain things that I need to prep. 7 years of beans and rice. Could you live 7 years on beans and rice? Not only are we going to talk about prepping, we are going to talk about canning today as well. One of the big preps that I do is I can a lot of beans, and I want to show you a company reached out to me and provided me with some jars and from some lids. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that too. We're going to go into my food pantries. We are going to work on all kinds of things today, and everything has to do with prepping. Why prepping is still really important. It's very important to prep, and prep in a way that you feel comfortable in your own environment. If you want to prep for 5 years, you go for it. If you want to prep for 1 year, you go for it. And that's me. So let me show you what we're working on. These beans are the last of my 2016 beans. You heard me right. As I went through all of my prepping items, and you are going to be seeing me work through all of that. I don't have near the food that I used to have, but I found some Mylar bags of 2016 beans. This is it. And then I have some 2022, but this is it. These beans are on the old side, so if I would try to soak them and cook them, it would take all day, and it may not even get soft. So I'm canning them, because if I can them, that temperature is so high that it will make them tender and soft. All right, so a company reached out to me called Superb, and they are a company that has canning jars and canning lids. So one thing I want to share with you is they are from the United States. They aren't from another country, and they're using the United States logo. They actually are from the United States. And they will have the United States logo on all of theirs. You can have a discount if you use my coupon code. That's totally up to you. I am not getting kickback from that. I did get these products though for free, just to show you that. So they have all the different lids. They have the different sizes, the different packs. You can get the baker's dozen. This will provide me with enough lids probably to can probably for the next 5 years. So I'm really thankful. You will be seeing more content creators showing you them lids, because I think they're pretty much going out to a lot of the homesteaders. All right, with that being said, now we're going to work on prepping. What I'm going to do is I am going to not soak these beans. I am going to rinse them off really well and wash them. 1/2 a cup to 1 pint jar. I like their jars because they don't have any designs on them, so it makes it really nice to put the labels when you're done compared to the ball jars. Now the ball jars do have the different levels, you know, it has the different levels there, like at 1 cup, how many ounces. But these are really nice, and I'm going to pressure can because I'm putting these to the test. If I recommend something, it's something that I have used and put it to the test. For those of you who want a detailed instruction on the beans, I'm going to give that to all of you. For those of you who said, oh, Tessie, I've seen this 100 times, you can skip this part. But I've had so many people say, can you please go back to sharing exactly how you do everything? That's okay, I will do that. This is pressure canning. I only pressure can low acid items on this channel. So you're going to see pressure canning if it's low acid. What we're going to do is we're going to take 1/2 cup of dried beans. Now this is not USDA regulated. In other words, the USDA does not have any bulletin out saying that they approved it. But the USDA is fairly, in my opinion, not current. And so I am pressure canning these, and that way I feel safe. And I've been doing this now 20 some years. So it's 1/2 cup of any dried bean to 1 pint. And we'll go ahead and do that first. the rims. We filled the water to the first thread. And now we're going to put the lids on. We do not need to boil the lids because this is pressure canning and they will get very nice and hot. So a very nice jar. I'm going to go ahead and put the lids on, all of them. 6 of them will have the ball lids and the rest will have the superb lids. Really like them. They are so much thicker. They remind you of the old time lids because they are a lot thicker. I will say this, that the lids are thicker than the 4 jars. And then we have the superb. So I can show you there's a huge difference. The ball lid is smooth like this, and that's how thin it is. Then the superb has a lip on it. There's a lip here, and you can see that it's thicker with that lip. So it has that lip. Now the old time lids used to have this. The Kerr lids used to have it back in the 70s. So this is kind of like the older lid style. All right, so now we have the left of our rice. I did a video on about 7 years ago where I got 600 pounds of rice. You heard me right, 600 pounds of rice. Now we gave about 200 pounds of that away, and this is what's left. And I'm gonna go ahead and put it in my jars to put in my pantry. So I'm gonna fill up these half-gallon jars with this leftover rice. So what I do is I put in some bay leaves. That will keep it fresher. It does work a lot. And I just put them on the top. Almost 9 years. I have it doesn't take very many of them. Bay leaves. You buy it once and you have it for many years. Now this rice we will consume the rest of the year. And now I have them in my pantry, so I can use them over and over and over again. Mylar bags are for anything over 2 years. And then I transfer them out of the Mylar bags into the glass jars for the last year. All right, so the beans are in the canner, and that's gonna take me about 75 minutes. Now, because I filled the jars with cold water instead of hot water, I always add an extra 5 or 10 minutes. So I'll probably can it to about 80 minutes at 10 pounds pressure. If you're not sure how to pressure can, I would recommend you find the videos. I have them and everybody else does on learning how to can with the pressure canner. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make lunch and we're going to have rice and beans. But what I like to do is I have lots of salsa, and I didn't realize that this was something really unusual. People were saying, I put salsa on my rice and beans. This one here is a pineapple salsa, and this one here is the old-fashioned Amish salsa, which I have the videos on this as well. And then we have the black beans. These are the ones I canned before. I add the beans and the rice to the rice cooker, cooks it all at once. Also, you can add some ground beef to it too. I add peas, I add all kinds of things that are already cooked that just needed heated in my rice cooker, and it makes a meal all at once. We do not eat meat at every meal. In fact, we only eat meat maybe 2 to 3 times a week. Let's go ahead and make up this rice, and I'll show you how we like to eat it for lunch. All right, so the rice and beans are in here, and then I add one of my seasoning cubes, and that's water. That's butter. So I added a seasoning cube with some butter, and we're gonna cook that. It takes about 35 minutes. All right, now we're gonna have our lunch. I did find a wrap. This is a gluten-free wrap that our daughter likes. So we are gonna use these up. And I am using my pineapple salsa on here. And then we have the rice cheesy rice with the black beans. And this is a meal that we typically like to eat at least once a week. I've had many people in the comments talk about having salsa on rice. They said they never heard of that. And then we do add some sour cream. And it's absolutely amazing. So here's one way you can eat your rice and your beans. There's millions of ways to do that. I'm gonna sit down and eat my lunch, wait for the canner to get done, and when it does, I'll get back to you and show you the beans, and then we will finish this video finally. I feel like I've been working on this same video ever since early this morning. Well, you know what? I have been. I've been working on this video since 7 a.m. All right, we're gonna finish eating lunch, then I'll get back to you. I have that shelf yet and that shelf. I keep adding jars to the shelves as I start removing everything, and we're consuming it, and I'm really thankful for all of this food. It's getting less and less, and I'm thankful for this food. I have a full pantry workout. I have flour. I have making my own bread mixes now, and it's a lot of fun, and I love having pantries. They do really help save money.